Hello and welcome to We Are One Family podcast conversation channel from Source and our mother Gaia, Erin here. And today we're going to chat with Greg and Beth. And
hello.
Before we get started, as we do, let's bring in our energy. And as a collective, just take a deep breath and releasing any undesired or collected energy that is not of our own, and allowing that and asking it to leave and dissipate into all of the universe, and building our beautiful bubble of light and energy around our individual. And dropping our root into the earth and feeling our grounding and our stability below us, connecting in with our families and friends, receiving that energy from our mother Gaia and seeing some pink flowing through a deep fuchsia, allowing that really receiving love from our mother Gaia, just allowing us to receive that as a collective and bringing that beautiful love into our bodies and filling ourselves up with that light. Asking our guides, angels, beings of love and light from times, dimensions, realities to join us in supporting this channel for the greatest good of all. And asking us to bring forth and touch the hearts of those that are in need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can come back to the space and follow this beautiful family conversation as we move forward. So I'm excited to chat about this topic that we've come up with today, which is through our conscious journeys in the family, we've all, and I know that many of us can relate. So whether we are relating to a job, to a new reality, or to understanding one type of medicine to another, and what those worlds look like for us. So let's just dive into this. And I definitely have my own related stories, but I want to hear from our family and see what comes up in this channel. Beth, what was some of your experiences as you were coming through this journey?
Well, I retired last year, which was awesome. I was working in corporate and feeling that it wasn't where I really needed to be. And so I was blessed enough to be able to just walk away. And it's been the best year I've ever had. And I know that a lot of people are going through that right now. They're either through no fault of their own, they've had to leave their jobs, either forced to or on their own accord decided to not take things that were against what they were believing in. Let's leave it at that. And so they had to leave. And I think what we're finding and what I'm hearing is a lot of people are finding their real purpose, finding that that job was just not where they were supposed to be, and opening up new opportunities for what their true bliss is and what they really were meant to be doing here. So I was, that's encouraging. I know there's probably a lot of people that are still looking for that niche that they're looking, like maybe starting up their own little, like Etsy shop or, doing healing work or, and they're just building on that. And I just feel like through this confusion we've been in the last 2 years, it's actually been a blessing to a lot of people because they've been able to find what their true meaning was, that they were, what their true purpose is, and what their soul was meant to do when they came down here. So it's kind of like cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the silver linings of the whole pandemic is, while it's been uncomfortable for sure, for all of us, it also it kind of caused us all to sort of freeze frame and take stock, because the way we were doing it suddenly wasn't being done anymore, and we had to figure out what we did instead, or what we did additionally, or what we didn't do anymore, and that creates, one of the things that I've seen over and over again. My background is in technology field, and often the biggest opportunities are discontinuities. When something's broke and a technology can come in and solve the problem, it can really take off quickly. And the same is true to me in terms of finding our place in the quote unquote new world. If the ship we were standing on, is it burning down around us, that gives us the incentive to jump in the water and swim for shore.
Right.
Otherwise, we might stay on the burning ship for a while. So that's a beautiful thing. And the other thing that strikes me is that that transition is just going to be different for everybody. Some people, like you said, Beth, I'm so happy for you that you were in a place where you could take retirement and then say, okay, stop that, start this. Cool. And not everybody has that option. And so, the other ways to get there is, a little bit at a time. You continue to do what you do, and, continue to garner the paycheck that keeps the roof over your head, and you start volunteering, or you start working, on the side at doing something you have passion for, and then over time figure out how to switch the things so that the mundane keep the lights on thing becomes in the background, and what you're passionate about bringing into the world comes into the foreground. And that's where a community like this can be such a powerful force, because it's a place to connect with people that are trying to do similar things, or looking for people to help them do their thing, or looking for a thing to help them do. And what a wonderful nexus.
I love that. Love it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I know, Erin, you have a story to tell about your transition.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing, is that we all have these cool stories that go on that reality of the perception of seeing one to the other. And I have a couple that were coming into my space, but one was the journey of being in the salon industry, and having my clients and really giving love to each one of those, and realizing that I had this burning thing inside of me. I saw a new world, and I saw that people could be supported and loved a little bit more. And so, like what Greg was saying, it was a transition where I was doing both. And for a long, I had to go, or I was in school to be an energy healer, and I was working on doing some of those type of sessions and stuff as I was doing hair, because I still had to pay my bills and do the things, even though I knew that I was transitioning out of it. I knew I didn't really want to do it anymore. However, I didn't see any way out other than to basically just be doing both. When I wasn't at one, I was at the other. And there was this passion inside of me to do that. And yes, COVID was a pusher in that direction, where I was able to let the salon go and really dive into where it's. However, there is a way to jump from one to the other, whether it is getting some part-time job, waiting tables, or working in a coffee shop, or selling clothes, whatever it might be, to do what you really need to do on the side. But it's that drive inside of us, and to get to that other side. And in this space, I think we're here to be a part of how we can support. You can do both. It can happen. We can find balance in what that is. And just really fast, the other story was not so much to do with work. It was to do with my health. And not to go down the road of what all of that story was, but I spent many years of my life being very, very ill. And Western medicine really wasn't able to find anything wrong with me, but I would spend up to a week in the hospital with all kinds of pain meds. And it was this belief that I don't know what's wrong with me. And I felt like I was what I called myself a ticking time bomb. And I almost died, and I was given the wrong medicine, and my family believed with the doctors, and I was becoming the crazy one. And I just took off, and I found another world. I was really ripped out of what I knew as healthcare and what helped me feel my body. It was completely ripped out. And I was shown that there's other types of modalities of medicine through energy, through the earth. And it's a collective way. We need it all. And I was very anti-Western medicine for a while, but the balance is so beautiful, is that we do need it all. And there is a journey to jump from one to the other, and there is a way to heal, whether it be Western medicine or not. And so for those that are stuck in one or the other, stuck in Western medicine, not understanding, what might be next, there is other ways. And I found myself cured from, I had a tear in my outer layers that no one was talking about, that's still not being talked about, that was causing me to go to the hospital and be told that I'm crazy to go to a mental hospital, when really there was actually something. I was bruised and torn in my body, but not in my physical body. For me, that was like, we have those. And so this is part of what new world, old world, combined world looks like. And what are all those perceptions? Is there any that you guys can think of besides what, like medicine, school experiences from the past?
Sure. Well, I come from a family of educators. My grandmother, my mom, my sister, her two kids are all elementary school teachers. And so I grew up in the context of what that looks like, and looking through the lenses of what are we trying to teach our kids to become, essentially, was, and the frustrations of trying to do that inside this giant monolith institution called public education, and how hard that is. And just looking at how that whole conversation changes when you look at how the world is changing, and you realize there are so many things that we need to teach our kids to do and to be that weren't even in the imagination 10 years or 20 or 30 years ago. And so that creates this huge opportunity of how do we, again, not let's burn down all the schools and start over again, right? But let's look at what our kids are not getting that they need, and then find ways to help them so that they have the tools, again, to create their world inside of this emerging world as it emerges. What an exciting thing, and what a feel good thing, at least for me, of like helping kids, find their way is, it feels great, as well as, frankly, helping all of us adults find our way to create ourselves into, whatever this is becoming that we're creating together. And it's dynamic, and it's not clear. Oftentimes, exactly, the rules are changing all the time. And so part of that is learning to thrive in that, because that's the way it's going to be. And, and again, that's one of the skills that we have to learn and we have to teach.
Yeah, I love that, because the kids coming in today are coming in so much brighter and so much more awake than we ever were. And so they need to be taught these lessons that we were never taught. And they need to be guided into understanding what we as humans are capable of doing, because there's so much more than what we've been told and what we've been taught. And I've been awake, if you want to call it, for 20 years. So, it's been a long journey, and the kids coming in today don't have to wait that long. They should be able to be taught, what their chakras are and what their energy centers are, and how the different modalities of healing, like Erin was saying, that we don't understand, as Western medicine took over and sort of took away all of those great healing technologies, not only with, energy, but also with herbs and medicines that come from the earth. And classes like that need to be taught to the children, not only that, but just meditation and and self-care and self-awareness. And so I'm excited that, this is something that we're going to be bringing, and there's an opportunity to expand that to that, not only adults, but also, the children, but also adults. So.
Yeah. So something else I'd like to just sort of throw in here is in the way of an invitation, particularly to adults, because I think it's more acute. If you are someone who has that feeling of like, I've been in this job or this industry, or I've been, doing this for a long time, and I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel like I belong here anymore. I can feel the earth has moved underneath my feet, but my feet haven't moved yet because I don't know where to go. To just know that you're not alone in that feeling, because it's what's happening.
Yeah.
And so this is a great place to move your feet to, if those are the kind of questions you're having, because again, it's something that when you walk in the door, it's something we all have in common here. We've all been through that moment. And so you can come into a place where, again, if you walk down to the water cooler, or real or metaphorical, in your traditional organization and say, oh, I'm having all these thoughts, maybe I don't belong here anymore. Well, that's not usually a conversation that's going to go very well. Right? Because the people that are still there are the people that are still there, and to a certain extent, when I was in that situation, I could feel us all clinging to the rock, hoping the tide wasn't going to pull us out. And then what I realized once I let go of the rock was, my goodness, why did I hold on to that rock for so long? Because actually, when I let go of the rock, I washed up on a much better shore. And so just know that that's, if that's your feeling, do not, my encouragement is don't fight it. Let yourself explore, go put your toe in some ponds, and see what you can find with a group of people that, again, have been through what you're feeling. And are so happy to embrace you, to come and come join the band.
Come join the tribe. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to add too, adults, yes, and parents. Yes, if you're a parent and wondering, I have a kid that I'm not sure what to do with. If you have questions about if you're doing the right thing for your child, or if you have a child that you feel is not fitting into public schools and you're questioning everything, please call us. We are here for that as well. Whatever that spectrum is, the coolest thing about the family is that we're able to help all of those ages. And we do have platforms available right now for all of those ages. If you are on our website with our Project Youth Inspired, they have a little academy, Learn and Love School. And on our platform with our guide team, we are able to work together and spread far and wide, nationwide, worldwide, to give the opportunities and support where we can, and for the individual access of what that person, child, parent, adult, individual needs for their highest self. And that's where the family is. And so, yeah, if you're listening and you relate to not knowing where that placement is, and seeing some of those transitions for yourself, we're here to support that.
Yeah, just to add, just sort of tie that to something Beth said a few minutes ago. If you're a parent who has that feeling of, you look at your children and you go, oh my gosh, I don't have ways to teach my kids some of the things they need to learn because, my gosh, they are wired differently. I don't quite know how to approach this to know that also is not a small club. That's everybody's, feeling that. And to be able to tap into a group like the family where that is being, that's being addressed. It's a place to go, both to find other people that are having those challenges, and also to find and create the solutions, so that our kids can grow up and into a world that that we can't imagine yet, but that we can create, with them and for them, and through them. Is what a wonderful place to go hang out.
Yeah, I wish that the family was around when I was going through this. Like I said, I felt like I never belonged anywhere. I mean, when I was growing up, I always knew that I was different, and I didn't know why. And it was, I think a lot of people are going through that right now. They don't feel like they fit in, and so come and join this family because you'll fit in. We know what you've been going through. We've had the same experiences, and circling back a little bit to what we were talking about, where people are starting to wake up, realizing that they're in this job, this job that doesn't suit them. Again, I just recently were able to get out of that, and so can you. But you need to understand that you need to find that, go into your inner knowing and figure out what it is that feels right for you. And yes, I had to work in corporate for many, many years, and also doing my energy work too. So while I was going through the 20 years of waking up, I became, Reiki master. I learned energy healing, and I, how to speak to the angels. All those modalities, but I never really put it into practice until, I realized that I could step away from a corporate job and do something else. And so everyone can do that. Just need to find your niche.
Love it. Just to spin off what you just said, it's so interesting because I never, misfits, weirdos, nerds. We should have this fun little song for it because, it's like, what is a weirdo? What's normal? I don't understand. I feel like they're both the same. And as a child, I was that too. And I questioned so many things. And that really made me the head of the bullying most of the time, which, of course, is another conversation for another day. But I was questioning, well, why would Jesus do that if he felt da 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 and do it back? Because, and it was defensive. And it's interesting because I just had questions about things all the time. And I just didn't truly understand where the valid answer was. And is it in science? Is it in space? I'm not really sure. And so, it was always that I'm not really sure I fit in or if I should open my mouth. Not that I didn't open my mouth. And sometimes opening our mouths is that beautiful channel that if you're feeling like you shouldn't open your mouth because you're always weird or it's, out there, you're probably saying something that the people in front of you actually need to hear. You're probably actually the one that has the right answer. And so trust that, and know that you're a bright light for the world, and the world needs that. So we're here to support that bright light and just bring more of that into the world. So this is a beautiful conversation. I know that we could probably come up with so much more. Is there any input that we want to put in before we do our bubble and create space for everyone?
I'm good.
The channel's clear. Boop, boop. Well, I am just super grateful for you guys and for everyone else that's been involved with this project and all those that are coming and will come and listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I ask that we release anything that came in that is undesired or that is not ours. I give all my energy back and I take all my energy back. Building our bubbles, thanking our angels and our guides and our support teams for being here for this beautiful channel. Thanking all of you
Thank you, Erin
See you guys soon.
and Greg.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. Thank you.